Have you ever woken from a dream so vivid, so strange, that it left you questioning its meaning? Tonight on Science for Sleeping, we're unraveling why your sleeping brain spins such curious stories, and whether they mean more than you think. Why dreams have always fascinated us. Imagine living in a world where every dream was more than just a fleeting thought. It was a sacred message, a whisper from something greater than yourself. In ancient times, people often believed just that. Dreams were viewed as gifts from the gods, riddles that needed solving, or warnings meant to guide decisions. Entire professions, almost like today's counselors or advisors, existed solely to interpret and unlock the secrets of these dream world messages. In Mesopotamia, considered one of the cradles of civilization, dreams were treated with remarkable reverence. Clay tablets from that era, painstakingly inscribed with cuneiform writing, carry detailed accounts of prophetic dreams, visions believed to offer glimpses of the divine will. These weren't just casual anecdotes. They were vital enough to memorialize on a material as enduring as clay, ensuring their advice could guide leaders or protect entire communities. Kings, commanders, even temple priests would consult specialized dream interpreters to make sense of these nighttime stories before making crucial decisions. A dream might signal whether to go to war, venture into new territories, or trust a foreign ally. It wasn't merely a deeply personal experience. Dreams had the power to ripple outward, influencing the shape of society itself. In ancient Egypt, the mysteries of sleep were bound tightly to religion. Dreams were often seen as direct communications from their gods, or guidance provided by those who had passed into the afterlife. Egyptians even had something akin to a dream journal, a manual called the Dream Book, which provided interpretations for more than 100 dream scenarios. A crocodile in your dream, for instance, might indicate a warning from Sobek, the crocodile-headed deity. Visionaries and priests would offer interpretations at temples, sometimes serving as oracles themselves. If a dream felt especially enigmatic or troubling, Egyptians would sleep in special temple incubation chambers, a setting believed to provoke clearer messages from the divine. It's soothing to imagine a time when even our restless dreams were thought to have purpose, as if they tied each person quietly to the rhythms of the universe. Still, the dream landscape wasn't always static in meaning. With time, thinkers like the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle began to propose less otherworldly explanations. He saw dreams not as celestial instructions, but as human experiences, echoes of the mind that replayed or processed thoughts from waking life. He suggested they were reflections of sensations, memories, or emotions lingering in the body and mind. It was a different kind of mystery, grounded more in human biology than divine intervention, but no less intriguing. After all, what could be more mysterious than our own minds? This shift in perspective, away from viewing dreams as purely spiritual messages, marked a turning point in how humanity tried to make sense of them. The Greeks and Romans, practical as they often were, began to see the interpretive side of dreaming as a blend of insight and intuition rather than dogma from the gods. Philosophers and writers of the time mused endlessly on why we dream and what it could mean for understanding ourselves. Thinkers like Cicero and Artemidorus built frameworks for dream analysis that we might even compare to early precursors of modern psychology. Artemidorus, for example, created a comprehensive guide for interpreting dreams, layering what people might perceive while sleeping with their waking context. Whether it was a bird calling at dawn or an image of a flowering tree, it all revealed something intimate and specific about the dreamer. It was art and analysis at once. It's fascinating to see just how seriously dreams have been taken throughout history. In ancient China, emperors consulted dream interpreters before enacting key policies. Similarly, in Aboriginal Australian cultures, Dreams connect people to the dream time, a sacred era where spiritual truths and reality intertwine. These interpretations weren't trivial. They could lead to monumental choices, alliances formed, journeys begun, warnings heeded. Today, many of us wake up groggy, dismissing whatever snatch of dream logic we remember as nonsensical. But for much of history, deciding not to listen to a dream was unthinkable. Dreams had the potential to shape destiny. Over thousands of years, one thing has stayed constant: the human need to understand what our dreams mean. Even now, when science offers us tools to map out the activity of the dreaming brain, we haven't quite let go of the idea that dreams could carry messages, not from gods this time, but perhaps from our own subconscious. After all, some dreams seem impossibly personal, reflecting thoughts and feelings we barely acknowledge while awake. Is it any wonder we wonder what they're trying to tell us? It's worth asking, though, what if dreams really are messages in a sense, not sent by an external force, but produced by the intricate, ever-active workings of the brain itself? Whether you lean toward history's stories of divine whispers or its first whispers of early psychology, dreams have always been a mirror of our deepest selves. And with that in mind, let's journey further. What does modern science have to say about dreams, why we have them, and how our brain creates them as we sleep? Keep listening as we gently step into the world of sleep and the fascinating map of the dreaming brain. The sleeping brain and the stages of sleep. Did you know that while you're fast asleep, your brain isn't simply resting? Instead, it moves through a collection of intricate stages, each one with its own rhythm and purpose, almost like wandering through different worlds, each layered with its own energy and purpose. Scientists refer to this delicate pattern as sleep architecture, a map of sorts for the brain's nightly journey. Across a typical night, you'll cycle through these stages multiple times, like a repeating melody that plays quietly under the surface of your dreams. Sleep is divided into two broad types: non-REM and REM sleep. Non-REM sleep consists of three distinct stages, known as N1, N2, and N3, each representing a different level of depth. The journey starts lightly and grows deeper as the night unfolds. Non-REM sleep is critical for keeping the body strong, tissues repaired, and memories conserved. But REM sleep, the kind most of us associate with dreaming, is something entirely different and mysterious, brimming with wild mental activity. Together, these stages create what you might think of as a nightly circuit, each component uniquely important to both the body and mind. The night begins at the edges of wakefulness, slipping gently into stage N1. This is the lightest stage of sleep, and almost feels like hovering in a soft, in-between place. During N1, your body begins to relax, and your mind starts to release its grip on the day. But in this transition, you're not entirely disconnected. You may still sense things around you faintly, a car outside, the murmur of the wind, but they feel far away, easy to ignore. This stage is brief, only lasting a few minutes, but it's where the journey begins. Occasionally in N1, you might experience those sudden muscle twitches or that strange, startling sensation of falling. These are called hypnic jerks, fleeting glitches on the way to deeper sleep. As the night settles further, you drift into stage N2. This is where your body takes sleep a bit more seriously. Your movements slow down, your body warms itself slightly, and, a fascinating touch, your brain creates little bursts of rhythm called sleep spindles. These bursts act like gentle noise-canceling headphones for your sleep, helping block out distractions from outside that might otherwise nudge you awake. Have you ever wondered why you stay asleep through far-off sounds, like cars rumbling along a distant street or a barking dog? Those spindles, along with something called K-complexes, play a key role. They help form a buffer between your dreaming self and the waking world. N2 lasts longer than the other phases of non-REM sleep, giving your heart rate time to lower, your muscles time to recover, and your mind permission to slip deeper into its orderly calm. Eventually, you find yourself entering N3, or deep sleep. Some call this slow-wave sleep because of the shape of its brain signals: slow, steady, and powerful. The waves ripple across your cortex almost like rolling tides softly washing over the shore. This stage doesn't just feel restful, it's where the body's most important repairs happen. Your tissues regenerate here, your muscles recover, and your immune system does much of its maintenance. You can imagine it as a quiet workshop, where the body heals itself in the night's quietest hours. Dreaming does happen here too, though it's far different from the vivid, chaotic imagery of REM sleep. A dream during deep sleep might not be an elaborate story, but rather fragile, shapeless impressions. Less like a movie, and more like a still photo barely in focus. But just as the body renews, the mind needs its own time to process. And that's where REM sleep enters the picture. Roughly an hour and a half after you first close your eyes, your brain begins a stunning transformation. REM, or rapid eye movement sleep, takes your mind's natural creativity and stirs it into a storm of intense activity. While the rest of your body rests still and quiet, your brain begins to light up. Patterns of activity pulse through it as if you were wide awake, engaging areas involved in emotions, memories, and imagination. Some people have likened REM sleep to a movie studio where chaos builds something beautiful. Think of a room filled with bright lights, dramatic moments, and actors rehearsing so many scenes they don't always make sense together. But somehow they fit in their own strange way. The drama plays out behind tightly closed eyes that dart back and forth, almost as though watching the action unfold. The rest of your body remains frozen, held still by something called REM atonia, which keeps limbs calm. Picture it as a safety feature, gently designed to keep you from acting out these mental stories physically. Otherwise, a dream about running might just send you bolting upright in bed. This rhythm of non-REM and REM repeats roughly every 90 minutes throughout the night, like the verses and chorus of a lullaby cycling onward. What's curious is how the dance changes as the night progresses. In the beginning, your brain spends more time in the deep, restorative current of N3. As the hours pass, though, the scales tip. REM sleep gradually extends its stay, taking up more of those precious minutes. It's as though your brain first focuses on healing the body and organizing its material systems, then moves into a more vibrant mental realm, unpacking memories and tinkering with emotions that linger from your day. And this is where dreams truly thrive. It's in the delicate interplay between these sleep stages, balancing moments of repair with chaotic bursts of imagination, that the dream world unfolds. Woven through REM sleep especially, dreams echo our experiences, distill our emotions, and quite possibly offer us space to solve problems, even as we rest. Scientists are still untangling why REM is so vivid and so uniquely positioned to host these nighttime tales, but what's certain is that it stands apart. Sleep without REM is like silence in an orchestra. Something essential would be missing. These dream-filled minutes fill the gaps and leave us puzzling over snippets of stories when morning light filters in. Speaking of REM sleep, have you ever wondered why it's so active, why the brain seems so hyper-alert during this time? As we continue, we'll explore its mysteries a little closer, tracing its peculiar features and dazzling, almost paradoxical nature. Because during REM, your brain is one of the busiest places in your body. It's a whole world in itself. Let's step further in. REM sleep, the dream factory. Why does your brain, so quiet and still throughout the day, suddenly come alive during REM sleep, crafting elaborate stories while leaving your entire body perfectly motionless? It may sound like a contradiction, but REM sleep is full of paradoxes like this. It's a unique world unto itself, a space where vivid dreams take shape, while your muscles remain locked in stillness. REM, short for rapid eye movement, earns its name because of what happens right beneath your eyelids. If you've ever watched someone sleeping and noticed their eyes flickering or darting around, That's REM in action. During this phase, the brain becomes incredibly active, as if someone flipped a switch and turned the lights back on in a quiet room. But at the same time, your body remains completely still, anchored by something called rematonia, a natural paralysis that prevents you from physically acting out your dreams. You see, while your brain may be imagining you running, fighting, or even flying, your body wisely stays put, safe from harm. This balance, mental motion paired with physical stillness, forms the core of REM sleep. And picture it like this. Your mind becomes a theater during REM sleep. The curtains rise, the stage lights blaze, and the story begins. There's drama, humor, and plenty of unexpected twists. But here's the catch. The actors are frozen in place. They feel the depth and intensity of the scene, but they can't move. That's the paradox of REM sleep. A time when the brain is as active as when you're awake, yet the body seems to vanish into silence. It's as though your mind gets to roam free, but it leaves the rest of you behind for safekeeping. This strange stillness isn't a flaw in the design. It's a safety feature. Rematonia ensures that no matter how intense or physical your dream may be, your body doesn't attempt to mimic it in real life. Think of it as your brain whispering to your muscles. Let's imagine you're climbing a mountain or swimming through the ocean. But let's just imagine it, okay? Without this paralysis, those dreams of running from imaginary threats or tripping over strange objects could take dangerous turns, leaving you rolling out of bed, or worse. Instead, rematonia keeps the experience contained within the mind, creating a perfectly safe sandbox for dreaming. And speaking of sandbox, REM sleep is where your wildest dreams are built, the kind that seem to ignore the rules of logic or reality. This is the phase responsible for those vivid, cinematic experiences you sometimes wake up marveling at. These aren't the faint fragments of thought you might encounter in other sleep stages. REM dreams are full of colors, emotions, and narratives so elaborate they could rival a movie script. One moment, you're soaring through a starry sky. The next, you're having a serious conversation with a cat wearing a suit. It's all wildly unpredictable, which makes REM sleep one of the most fascinating corners of the human mind. What's even more remarkable is how real dreams can feel while you're in them. That's because REM sleep doesn't just play with images or sensations. It taps into the very same parts of the brain that process emotions, memories, and imagination during waking hours. It's no wonder these dreams resonate so strongly, even after you've woken up. While the rest of the body rests and repairs itself, the mind becomes a playground for thoughts, stitching together emotions and bits of daily memories in ways that don't always make sense but somehow feel important. This high level of brain activity during REM isn't a random feature. It's likely one of the reasons dreams feel so intense. When you're in this stage, your brain's visual and emotional centers light up, escalating the drama of your mental stories. In contrast, the logical part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, remains relatively quiet. This combination, a flood of emotion with little interference from reason, allows your dreams to take on that surreal, almost magical quality, where things that shouldn't feel normal somehow do. It might be why you can discuss philosophy with a talking giraffe and wake up feeling like it wasn't that strange after all. But why does the brain work so hard during REM sleep? Part of the answer lies in its role beyond dreaming. REM is thought to support several critical functions: processing emotions, consolidating memories, and even sparking creativity. During this phase, your brain appears to reflect on what happened during the day, organizing those moments into something more digestible. It's as though your mind is tidying up, filing away what's important and tossing out what's not, all while adding its own imaginative spin on things. A moment of stress at work, for example, might show up in a dream as an empty hallway or a complicated escape scenario, giving your brain space to work through those feelings in ways you weren't able to when awake. Interestingly, researchers have shown that REM dreams often feature themes or settings loosely tied to your experiences or concerns. If something emotional has been weighing on you, REM might bring it to life, amplifying and twisting it into surreal scenes. While this might sound disorienting, it could serve a purpose, allowing your brain to confront and process emotions indirectly, almost like rehearsing for real life. In that sense, it's not just a dream factory. REM may also be an emotional workshop, where feelings are laid out and examined in ways you wouldn't consciously think to do. But of course, one of the most enigmatic aspects of REM sleep is how separate it feels from the rest of sleep. During non-REM stages, the focus is largely on the body, repairing tissue, boosting the immune system, and conserving energy. REM, by contrast, is all about the mind. It's a time for abstract thinking, imaginative leaps, and emotional deep dives. It's as though the brain takes what the body has prepared during earlier stages and brings it all to life, like a final act that ties everything together. The more scientists study REM sleep, the clearer it becomes that this stage isn't just about creating entertaining dreams for the fun of it. Its intensity may hold the key to understanding why dreams can still linger with us long after we wake. Like a powerful, emotional story, dreams can feel deeply meaningful, even if we can't always figure out what they're trying to say. And maybe that's the point. REM sleep doesn't solve all of life's mysteries, but it gives your brain the space to explore them. So, as you drift into REM tonight, your brain will shift into its most vivid and lively state, building entire worlds without ever leaving your bed. It's a reminder that even when your body seems still, your mind is anything but, crafting stories, processing emotions, and perhaps even preparing you for whatever challenges tomorrow might bring. Now, we've seen how REM sleep acts as the stage for dreams, but did you know how deeply emotions play into those dreamscapes? In fact, your feelings don't just inspire your dreams. They shape them in ways that might surprise you. Let's look closer at how your sleeping brain uses dreams to explore, amplify, and even untangle emotions. The emotional blueprint of dreams. Have you ever noticed how your dreams seem to amplify the emotions you feel during the day? Fears might grow larger, hopes might take on a brighter glow, and moments of stress can work their way into entirely new scenarios behind closed eyes. Dreams often feel like exaggerated reflections of life, as though your mind takes your day and stretches it like taffy, pulling out the most intensely emotional pieces. It's no coincidence. This link between your emotions and your dreams runs deep, and it starts with the incredible inner workings of your sleeping brain. At the center of this process lies the amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure nestled deep in your brain. During the day, what makes this even more intriguing is that while the amygdala is busy amplifying those emotions, your brain is doing something surprising. It's dialing down the chemicals responsible for stress. During REM sleep, levels of stress hormones, like norepinephrine, are significantly reduced. It's as though the brain knows this is the time to explore your feelings freely, but without the overwhelming sense of panic or anxiety that might accompany those emotions in waking life. One researcher described this process as a kind of emotional workshop. The amygdala brings the emotions to the surface, but it's done in a calmer, more manageable way. It's like having a conversation about something difficult with a trusted friend, where the stakes feel low enough to speak freely. If you think about it, dreams almost act like an editor late at night, piecing together fragments of your emotional day. Picture a film editor sitting at a desk, cutting and rearranging scenes, one from breakfast, another from an afternoon meeting, all while layering them with music that reflects your mood. For example, imagine you had a stressful conversation with someone earlier. The dream might not replay this word for word, but instead, it might take you to a busy marketplace, weaving in a feeling of tension you recognize from waking life. Or perhaps you watched an emotional movie that stirred something deep within you. It's not surprising that the same feelings might echo in your dreams, reimagined through a different lens. This strange process of cutting and layering helps stitch together the emotional threads of your day, but in a way that feels uniquely dreamlike. It's all part of something researchers call the continuity hypothesis. This idea suggests that dreams don't exist in a vacuum. They're directly influenced by what happens during our waking hours. The conversations we have, the stress we feel, the small moments of triumph or frustration. These elements often sneak into our dreams, reframed and reinterpreted. Think of your dream world as a kind of mirror, showing you a reflection that's slightly warped by emotion and imagination. So, if you spend the day immersed in a detective novel, followed by a tense conversation with someone close to you, your dream might turn those fragments into something like a shadowy alley or a mysterious chase. A simple walk in the park earlier might inspire a dream that takes place in an unfamiliar forest, echoing the peace you felt, but layering it with your subconscious questions. Dreams are both uniquely yours and unmistakably tied to the fabric of your day. Of course, not every dream feels like it holds a meaningful message, and that's okay too. Some dreams are simply a collection of scattered thoughts, random emotions, and bits of memory that don't seem to form a cohesive narrative. But even the most abstract dreams serve a purpose. They give your brain time and space to think creatively, to expand beyond the limits of logic, and let emotions take the lead for a little while. Whether it's helping heal wounds from the day, inspiring new ideas, or just creating a space for you to feel, dreams are a reflection of your most honest self. So are dreams a way for us to heal emotionally? Many researchers believe so. The delicate balance of heightened emotions and reduced stress during REM sleep creates an environment where your mind can work through unresolved feelings, even if you're not aware of it. It's comforting, isn't it? To know that while you sleep, your brain might be quietly looking out for you, doing its part to help you move forward a little lighter than when you lay down. And while emotions play a vital role in shaping our dreams, they might not be the only thing dreams prepare us for. Some researchers believe dreams have an evolutionary purpose, a way of simulating threats and challenges to keep us sharp for real life. It's an intriguing idea, one we'll explore further as we look closer at how the brain might use dreams as a tool for survival. Let's step into that curious possibility next. Dreams as a survival simulator. What if your dreams were more than just fleeting stories? What if they were training sessions, practice runs for challenges you might one day have to face? This is the question behind something called the threat simulation theory. It's an idea that suggests dreams, especially the dramatic ones, the ones that make your heart race, could be your brain's way of preparing you for danger. A sort of mental rehearsal, where the stakes feel high, but there are no real consequences. It's a fascinating thought, isn't it? That while you dream of running, hiding, or solving impossible problems, your brain could be sharpening skills designed to protect you. To understand why our ancestors might have needed this mysterious function, it helps to imagine the world they lived in. Long before the safety of houses, cities, or technology, many of them spent their lives surrounded by constant threats: hungry predators, rival groups, harsh environments. Survival often depended on the ability to react quickly to danger and learn from mistakes. A person who could anticipate a predator's next move or stay calm under pressure had a better chance of living to see another day. This instinct didn't just come from daily experiences. Dreams, with their exaggerated scenarios and heightened emotions, may have played a key role too. After all, what better way to practice escaping a predator? There's something else about dreams tied to this theory that researchers find intriguing: their intensity. People who've spent their lives in riskier, more dangerous environments tend to dream more frequently about threats. Their dreams are often vivid, detailed, and emotionally charged. This supports the idea that the brain adapts when it senses a need to prepare for survival. If you grew up in conditions where danger was close, maybe living in areas with high crime, or experiencing instability, your brain likely treats sleep very differently. Even while resting, it feels the need to stay sharp, running scenario after scenario in the background. It's almost as if the brain never fully turns off its survival instincts. But dream threats don't stop at just physical dangers. In a way, the simulation expands to modern challenges too. A dream might suddenly put you in a situation where everyone's staring at you, expecting you to speak, but you've forgotten what to say. Or you might find yourself lost in a crowd, unable to navigate back to safety. While these moments don't involve predators or life and death stakes, they still revolve around social survival, a kind of stress that's deeply relevant to how we navigate the world today. Social embarrassment, conflict, or rejection can, in their own way, feel as pressing as a saber-toothed cat lurking in the bushes might have felt centuries ago. Your brain, ever the diligent guide, doesn't know the difference. The stresses are different, but something ancient in you treats them with the same level of importance. Dreams, then, become a space to practice handling them. Nightmares, though unpleasant, might be the most direct example of how this theory plays out. These high-stress dreams raise your emotional intensity, creating a worst-case scenario but placing you at its center. One night you're dreaming of being stranded. The next, you're helplessly watching something fragile slip away. Nightmares aren't enjoyable, but is it possible they serve a purpose? Imagine them as a kind of emergency drill for the mind. By simulating disaster, they let us feel and process the fear in a safe, consequence-free setting. It's no coincidence, many believe, that some of the most intense nightmares come during times of real-life stress. In some small way, these unpleasant dreams might be helping you prepare emotionally and mentally for the things you're afraid of. One study found something fascinating: just how much role play our brains engage in during sleep. Across a range of participants, threatening scenarios consistently outnumbered safe or neutral ones. Even in people who didn't consciously feel challenges during their day, their dreams still focused heavily on potential dangers. The brain, it seems, doesn't just rest at night. It takes stock of everything, real or imagined, and uses dreams as a kind of mental rehearsal for what might come next. It's comforting, in an unusual way, to think that these restless dreams aren't just chaos. They're your brain's way of getting you ready. Modern life even offers unique spaces for this rehearsal. For instance, dreams set in oddly familiar locations like schools or workplaces often bring with them an undertone of being tested or judged. It's as if the brain picks places tied to performance and expectation, then runs you through the gamut of what could go wrong. You might forget how to complete a task, or realize halfway through that something crucial has gone missing. These could feel like minor stressors on the surface, but deeper down, the brain treats them as part of your own social survival. It gives you a chance to rehearse and hopefully to feel better equipped when situations like this happen in real life. What's remarkable, though, is how safe dreams are as a playground for practicing fear and problem solving. No matter what disaster unfolds, you always wake up, untouched by the events you just lived through. That's the beauty of the dream world. The stakes feel high in the story, but your body knows better. It lets you explore danger. experiment with solutions, and even confront the same challenge multiple times without any true risk. Every failure is erased when you wake, but the lessons stitched into the brain's pathways might stay with you. In this way, dreams, especially the challenging ones, become a kind of rehearsal for emotional and physical resilience, allowing you to build skills without even realizing you're doing it. Maybe the next time you dream about being chased or solving some impossible trap, it'll feel a little less frustrating. Instead of just another strange mental story, it might click that this is your brain at work, testing, adapting, preparing in ways only it knows how. It's comforting to know that while you sleep, your mind doesn't rest entirely. Even when your conscious self switches off, there's a deeper part of you working quietly in the background, ensuring you're as ready as you can be when it matters most. But what if you could take part in this mental story? Not just as the dream's protagonist, but as its creator. Some people experience a rare and fascinating state during sleep, where they become aware they're dreaming, and more than that, they can steer the narrative. This phenomenon is called lucid dreaming, and it offers a different kind of insight into the dreaming brain. Let's explore that wonder next. Lucid dreaming, when you know you're dreaming. What if you could wake up inside your own dream and decide what happens next? A vast, surreal world around you, impossible landscapes, familiar faces out of context, and somehow, you know it isn't real. That's lucid dreaming, a rare phenomenon where the dreamer recognizes they're in a dream while it's happening. But more than simply realizing it, lucid dreamers can take control, shifting the narrative, bending the rules of reality, and rewriting the story as they go. It's like stepping into the role of both star and director of your own film, creating the plot in real time. Lucid dreaming is a kind of hybrid state of consciousness. It blends the vivid, often chaotic imagery of REM sleep with the logical awareness of wakefulness. Normally when we dream, the brain doesn't question the bizarre situations it creates. You might find yourself flying, talking to a long-lost friend, or wandering through a house you've never seen before, and it feels perfectly normal, no matter how strange it gets. But in a lucid dream, something shifts. A small part of your mind wakes up, enough to recognize that none of it is real. Suddenly, you're aware that the scene unfolding around you is happening within your own mind. It's a moment of clarity in a space where logic is usually left behind. What makes this state even more fascinating is how your brain changes while it happens. During most REM sleep, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logical reasoning and self-awareness, is largely quiet. Dreams tend to be fragmented or illogical because the areas that impose order and structure are on a kind of break. But in lucid dreaming, researchers have discovered something unusual. The prefrontal cortex, particularly an area called the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, becomes active again. It's almost like a flickering light turning back on, enough to bring self-awareness into a space usually ruled by wild imagination. This unique blend of brain activity creates a neural signature that's somewhere between waking and sleeping, a middle ground where imagination and logic overlap. Some people describe lucid dreams as a kind of creative playground, where the normal rules of reality no longer apply. Imagine realizing, in the middle of a dream, that you can jump into the sky and float among the clouds. Or you might choose to revisit a memory or talk to someone you've lost, knowing that none of it can hurt you, but all of it feels vivid and real. One lucid dreamer compared the experience to stepping onto the stage of an enormous play where you aren't just the actor, but also the writer and director, deciding what comes next at every moment. The possibilities feel endless, limited only by the reach of your own imagination. What's even more fascinating is how lucid dreaming creates opportunities to interact with the conscious world while still dreaming. In sleep laboratories, researchers have trained people to perform simple signals during lucid dreams, such as moving their eyes in specific patterns. Those eye movements, left, right, left, can be monitored and recorded in real time, providing a link between the researcher and the dreamer. Through this method, scientists have caught rare glimpses of what it's like to be aware inside a dream, breaking through the usual separation that exists between the sleeping mind and the external world. These experiments reveal just how unusual the lucid dreaming state is. A dreamer can exist in two worlds at once, engaging fully with the dream while remaining enough in control to communicate. It's such a unique combination, too immersive to feel like waking, but too self-aware to feel like ordinary dreaming. This rare state has fascinated researchers for decades, not only because of its strangeness, but because of what it might tell us about consciousness itself. What does it mean when a mind can gain awareness while deep in sleep? And how is it possible for the dreaming brain to break the boundaries between imagination and reality so seamlessly? Of course, lucid dreaming doesn't always involve dramatic control. Some people slip into this state in subtle ways, realizing they're dreaming but choosing not to interfere, content to observe as the dream plays out. Others describe brief moments of awareness, like flashes of insight, before the dream shifts back into its usual unpredictability. For those who practice lucid dreaming intentionally, though, there's often a sense of determination to explore what the dream world has to offer. Techniques like reality checks, pausing during the day to ask yourself, "Is this a dream?" increase the odds of recognizing when you've stepped into one. It's a skill, one that can be improved with practice and patience. There's something undeniably romantic about the idea of lucid dreaming, of stepping consciously into a space shaped entirely by your subconscious. It stirs questions about the nature of control, creativity, and awareness. When you take control of a dream, are you tapping into a deeper part of your mind, one that remains quiet during waking life? Or are you imposing your waking thoughts onto a space that thrives on chaos and whimsy? For most lucid dreamers, simply having this level of agency is enough to make even the strangest dream feel unforgettable. Lucid dreaming also raises intriguing possibilities for self-discovery and problem-solving. Imagine harnessing this conscious dreaming state to confront fears, rehearse difficult situations, or explore creative ideas in ways that aren't possible while awake. There's some evidence to suggest this could work. Because dreams draw heavily from your emotions and recent experiences, stepping into a lucid dream might allow you to confront feelings or revisit events in a safe, controlled way. There have been reports of dreamers using these heightened states to experiment with solutions to real-world problems, like musicians composing melodies or athletes practicing movements, all within the dream itself. Though it sounds fantastical, it isn't entirely outside the realm of possibility. After all, the brain is deeply active during dreaming, and its capacity for thought and creation doesn't disappear when you fall asleep. But for all its potential, lucid dreaming remains elusive. Only a small percentage of people experience these dreams regularly, and for some, it never happens at all. It's a rare blending of two vastly different states of being, alert consciousness and the restorative, creative depths of REM sleep. And while researchers have made strides in understanding how this state arises, much of it is still a mystery. What triggers the prefrontal cortex to reactivate in some dreams, but remain dormant in most? Why can some people learn to induce lucid dreams, while others cannot? These questions keep scientists and dreamers searching for answers. Perhaps that's why this phenomenon captivates so many people. It offers a glimpse into what the dreaming mind is capable of when given even the smallest taste of control. Lucid dreaming isn't just about reshaping dreams into playgrounds or solving puzzles. It's about stepping into an experience that feels otherworldly but deeply personal at the same time. It's a space where imagination and self-awareness meet, creating experiences that linger long after you wake. Though rarer than ordinary dreaming, lucid dreams hold a special kind of magic, a testament to the mind's ability to explore its own depths. They remind us just how much we still don't know about sleep and consciousness, and how much potential lies in the spaces we enter once our eyes are closed. It's fascinating to think about what we might learn as research continues into this state. Could understanding lucid dreaming eventually help us unlock deeper insights into creativity, problem-solving, or even therapy? And yet, for all their wonder, lucid dreams are just one small corner of the strange world of sleep. The next corner we'll explore is even stranger: the line between sleeping and waking. Imagine acting out your dreams in real life, unaware that your body has left the safety of stillness. That's the curious world of phenomena like sleepwalking, where the body and mind seem to live momentarily in two separate states. Let's look closer at these unusual behaviors next. Do animals dream? Have you ever watched a sleeping dog, ears twitching, paws gently moving, and wondered if, in their dreams, they're chasing a squirrel or sniffing through a new park? That small flicker of a tail or soft whimper almost feels like a window into another world, one where your pet's thoughts keep running even as their body rests. While we may never know exactly what fills their dreams, scientists are fairly certain about one thing: animals do dream. The most compelling evidence comes from studying REM sleep, the stage of sleep most strongly tied to dreaming in humans. During REM, the brain shows bursts of activity. The eyes flicker rapidly beneath closed lids, and muscles fall temporarily still, thanks to something called REM paralysis. In animals, similar signs appear: those twitching paws, soft vocalizations, or the rapid darts of their eyes are all indicators that they've entered this dreaming phase. It's almost like watching a silent movie play out just beneath their fur. While the narratives playing in their minds remain a mystery, these physical cues tell us that dreaming is likely not unique to humans. Animals likely experience their own nightly stories, shaped by their instincts, behaviors, and daily lives. But how can scientists study dreams in animals, especially when they can't wake up and tell us about them? This is where brain activity offers a fascinating glimpse. One groundbreaking study involved training rats to navigate a complex maze. While the rats were awake, researchers measured the patterns of neurons firing in their brains, patterns that looked almost like a mental song of the maze. Later, during REM sleep, those exact same patterns reappeared as the rats slept. It was as though their minds were running through the maze again, practicing or replaying the events of the day. Could they be dreaming of successes and wrong turns, mentally rehearsing what they'd learned? The evidence strongly suggests so. In fact, it's possible that this replay helps strengthen their memory, preparing them for future challenges. It's a bit like the way we might dream of repeating a conversation or solving a puzzle we couldn't quite figure out earlier. This replaying of life events isn't limited to rats. Birds, too, show signs of dreaming, and their dreams appear just as specialized. Take zebra finches, for example. Known for their intricate songs, these birds generate unique and complex vocal patterns as part of their daily lives. When researchers monitored zebra finches during sleep, they discovered the same neural activity they'd exhibit during singing in the day. It's as if, while they sleep, they're quietly rehearsing their songs, polishing those musical phrases for the days ahead. One can almost picture a finch dreaming not of flying or finding food, but of perfecting a song, a detail that may shape how they express themselves to others or defend their territory. Their nighttime rehearsal highlights how dreams across species might serve similar purposes, reinforcing skills or preparing animals for waking life. Interestingly, studies have challenged older assumptions that dreaming might only happen in mammals. Research on reptiles, like certain species of lizards, suggests that they may enter a sleep cycle similar to the ones seen in mammals, complete with phases resembling non-REM and REM sleep. Though we don't think of reptiles as emotional or complex in the same way we see mammals, these findings hint that dreaming could be an ancient evolutionary trait, stretching far back through the history of life on Earth. Imagine it. Creatures from vastly different branches of the evolutionary tree, from tiny birds to large mammals, sharing this mysterious nightly habit, each shaped by the unique worlds they inhabit. More cognitively advanced animals show even greater signs of REM sleep, and their behaviors hint at dreams tied to their complex emotional lives. Dolphins, for instance, manage a fascinating sleep process, where only one side of the brain rests at a time, with the other half staying awake to monitor their surroundings. Despite this unique adaptation, evidence suggests they experience a dreamlike state, though their experience might differ from what we know about REM sleep. Elephants, too, dream while lying down, and primates, so closely related to us, move through REM sleep cycles that look almost identical to our own, leading researchers to believe their dreams might share similar emotional depth. Let's return to our familiar household companions, dogs and cats, for a moment. Dogs especially offer some of the most charming clues about animal dreams. Smaller dogs tend to enter REM sleep more frequently, while larger breeds may spend longer in each REM phase. Observing their twitches and murmurs, it's hard not to imagine them revisiting moments from their day. Given how central their human families are to their lives, many scientists believe it's likely that dogs dream about their owners, alongside familiar settings like their favorite parks, toys, or routines. In their dreams, they might be chasing a favorite ball, returning to a comforting scent, or reliving a walk they took earlier. The idea is both endearing and strangely profound. Our dogs might carry us into their dreams, just as we sometimes dream of them. Cats offer another fascinating lens into animal dreams, highlighted in part by studies from the 1960s. Researchers found that when a specific region of the brain responsible for REM paralysis was temporarily disabled in sleeping cats, they would act out their dreams. You'd see them crouching, pouncing, or even swatting at invisible prey, clearly engaging in behaviors similar to hunting or chasing. This was one of the first demonstrations that animals don't simply sleep. They experience complex mental narratives during REM sleep, much like we do. While a cat might not dream of elaborate storylines as humans do, the movements suggest they're mentally reliving instinctual behaviors that dominate much of their waking attention. It's not hard to imagine the kinds of themes that might occupy the dreams of different animals. For a rat, it could be the twists and turns of a maze, the smell of food at the end, or the instinct to avoid danger. For a bird, dreams might replay moments of soaring through skies or rehearsing the songs that define their place in a flock. Predators might dream of hunting or stalking, while prey likely dreams of running or hiding. While animal dreams probably aren't as symbolic or metaphorical as ours tend to be, they are likely practical, grounded in the experiences that matter most to their survival, or their social lives. The presence of dreams across species raises another fascinating question. What do these dreams reveal about the consciousness of animals? We know that REM sleep supports memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and skill rehearsal in humans, and it's reasonable to assume similar functions might apply in animals. Could these shared sleep traits suggest shared traits of awareness? After all, dreaming itself hints at a layer of inner complexity, a capacity to revisit and mentally navigate experiences beyond the immediacy of the waking moment. Dreaming might also draw animals closer to us in ways we might not often consider. It's comforting to think that your dog, stretched out beside you, is dreaming not just of chasing squirrels, but of the life you share together, much like you might dream of a loved one after they leave the room. It's equally humbling to imagine that, for all our human complexities, we share this hidden ritual of dreaming with creatures big and small, an evolutionary thread connecting us, silently, in the quiet hours of sleep. And yet, these questions about animal dreams remain part of a larger, growing mystery. As research continues, new discoveries emerge that open up even more possibilities. What does it mean that REM-like activity exists in such a wide variety of species? Could deeper studies into these patterns teach us not just about animals, but also about ourselves? Science hasn't yet caught up with all the answers, but the hints it offers are as captivating as any dream itself. And the future of this research, the idea of unlocking dreams in fuller detail, is where our journey takes us next. Could we someday map dreams, record them, or even guide them? Let's imagine what lies ahead for dream science. Imagine a future where your dreams no longer fade into the haze of morning. Instead of waking with only fragments, an image here, a feeling there, you could record those strange and vivid experiences. What if you could replay them, share them with someone else, or even guide what you dream about before you fall asleep? It sounds like something out of science fiction, but the field of dream science is moving closer to making these possibilities real. With advanced technology and new research, we are beginning to unlock the hidden worlds behind closed eyelids. One of the most promising areas of dream research focuses on decoding the imagery and sensations experienced in dreams. Scientists have begun using tools like fMRI machines and artificial intelligence to reconstruct dream content. Here's how it works. While someone is asleep, their brain activity is measured, particularly in areas responsible for vision and memory. That information is then fed into machine learning algorithms, which attempt to match it to images or patterns the person might have seen before. It's still in its early stages. The results are blurry and vague, like trying to view a dream through frosted glass. But even these first steps are astonishing. For the first time, we can glimpse the outlines of what another mind imagines during sleep, turning something as fleeting as a dream into something observable. This technique opens up all kinds of possibilities. Imagine waking from a dream you can't quite describe, yet there it is, reconstructed as a faint visual, like a watercolor painting of your subconscious. Someday, this process could become clear enough to create actual recordings, letting us revisit dream experiences the way we might replay an old home movie. Would you share such a recording with a friend, letting them see the landscapes and stories that unfolded in your mind? Or would you keep it private, letting it remain something uniquely yours? These are questions we've never had to answer before, but as the science grows, they'll become increasingly important. Of course, decoding dreams is only one side of the equation. On the other side, researchers are exploring whether dreams can be influenced or guided. This process, called targeted dream incubation, focuses on introducing subtle cues into the sleeping brain to nudge dream content in certain directions. It's not about controlling dreams entirely. What's introduced is more of a seed than a script. These cues could be as simple as playing a specific sound, using a particular scent, or offering a word or image before sleep begins. For example, in one study, participants exposed to the scent of roses during sleep were more likely to report pleasant dreams. Another study found that a simple word like tree might trigger dreams of forests or natural settings. It's less about designing specific stories and more about providing gentle guidance, allowing the mind to take that seed and grow it into a dream. There's something poetic about the idea of mental gardening, of planting small suggestions and watching how they bloom within the shifting landscapes of a sleeping brain. It could even be therapeutic. For those struggling with repetitive nightmares or unresolved anxieties, this approach might offer a way to reshape their dreams into something less distressing. Imagine planting seeds of calm, waves on a beach, the scent of lavender, or even intentionally rehearsing scenarios you'd like to feel confident in, like speaking to a crowd or reconnecting with someone you've lost. These possibilities make targeted dream incubation an especially exciting area for future research. Wearable technology is already beginning to bring some of these ideas into the realm of everyday life. Devices like headbands and earbuds capable of monitoring brain waves are designed to track when a person enters REM sleep. Some even deliver cues, musical notes, soothing words, or subtle vibrations at just the right time to influence dream content. While these tools are still experimental and far from everyday use, they hint at a future where you might someday guide your dreams as easily as programming a playlist. Imagine wearing a headband that helps nudge your dreams toward relaxation after a stressful day, or encourages creative breakthroughs when you're stuck on a problem. It's a fascinating thought, though one that raises its own set of questions about how much influence we should have over something as personal and organic as dreaming. One of the more captivating and speculative ideas in dream science is the concept of dream sharing. While we're not there yet, some researchers believe it's theoretically possible to synchronize the dreams of two people or create shared dream experiences. This could involve using connected devices during sleep for coordinated dream simulations, or advancing the recording of dream content to a level that allows others to view it in detail. Imagine sharing your favorite dream adventure with someone you care about, creating a kind of bond that extends even into your subconscious mind. Or imagine using this technology for collaborative purposes. Designers taking inspiration from shared dreamscapes, or couples exploring fictional worlds together. But as exciting as these advancements are, they don't come without challenges. One of the largest concerns is privacy. Dreams are, after all, one of the most sacred and intimate spaces of the mind. They often reveal deeply personal details, our fears, desires, memories, and vulnerabilities, things rarely shared with others, even by choice. If technology advances far enough to record or influence dreams, who gets to decide what's off limits? Would you be comfortable knowing that your thoughts, even while unconscious, might one day be accessed by others? These concerns have led to discussions about the idea of neurorights, a set of ethical protections for mental privacy, freedom of thought, and autonomy over one's own mind. As dream research moves forward, there's a growing awareness that these protections need to be established now, before the technology becomes too advanced to regulate. After all, dreams are deeply tied to what it means to be human. They allow us to explore, untangle, and express ourselves freely. Losing that freedom, or having it compromised, would fundamentally change how we connect to our own minds. At the same time, there's so much potential for good that technology and dream science could offer. People struggling with trauma or anxiety-related sleep issues stand to benefit greatly from advances in targeted dream therapy. Imagine a world where nightmares caused by PTSD could be softened or redirected into something calming. A way of reshaping the overwhelming emotional intensity into something manageable. Artistic or creative minds might use dream-guiding devices to expand their imagination, diving deeper into ideas and inspiration hidden in their subconscious. Even simple things, like helping people get better rest by soothing their dreams, could have a profound impact on mental health and well-being. The intersection of artificial intelligence, neuroscience, and wearable tech makes this future feel surprisingly close. Researchers are already exploring how AI could analyze and respond to dream patterns in real time, creating a feedback loop between the dreamer's brain and external stimuli. It's easy to imagine a near future where your sleep is monitored by a device designed to foster specific outcomes, whether that's emotional healing, creativity, or problem-solving. But while the idea of increasingly personalized dreams feels exciting, it also blurs an important boundary: the line between waking and dreaming. If dreams can be guided, recorded, or shared, they might lose some of their natural, spontaneous magic. What makes dreams so special, after all, is their unpredictable, untamable nature. As the science continues to develop, one thing becomes increasingly clear. Dreams aren't just a passive experience. They're dynamic, meaningful, and deeply connected to how we process the world around us. The idea that science and technology might someday help us interact with this part of ourselves feels both exhilarating and a little unsettling. Where do we draw the line? How much freedom should we give ourselves to reshape something so intricate and mysterious? These are questions that science alone can't answer. The future of dream science holds exciting possibilities, opportunities to understand more about ourselves, to connect with others more deeply, and to unlock parts of the mind previously hidden. But it also challenges us to think carefully about how we approach these advancements. Dreams are a space where the impossible becomes possible, where emotion and memory blend into narratives that surprise us. They're personal, unpredictable, and filled with wonder. It's that mix, the strange and the beautiful, that makes dreams so uniquely human. And yet, even as technology pushes us forward, we're still left with the same fundamental mystery. Why does the brain create dreams in the first place? Are they something more than a playful byproduct of our sleeping mind? As we reflect on all this, the true nature of dreams remains as elusive as ever, a mystery that invites both science and imagination to keep searching.